Hello, on to the final parts of this second stage for the Alphabetical World Cup. And boy, we have saved the most thrilling one for last. And it was just randomly generated for different groups of 5, because we had 25 winners representing every letter of the alphabet that has a nation. So X doesn't have any, so that sort of worked out very well for us. And yeah, we got England here, 6th in the world, France 2nd in the world. Oman, poor Oman, they are in full world of hurt here, but congratulations for them for qualifying. 123rd, Spain 3rd in the world, and also we got Wales 17th in the world, so 4 sides in the top 20, jeez. And one of these nations will go on and make the final group stage. We've got the likes of Germany, Haiti, Belgium, and Denmark, who have each managed to win their second stage round. So to get to join them, and the top 2 from the final round there will go into the final and try and become the Alphabetical World Cup champions. So let's go over how these nations have gone on in the original group stages to represent their letter. So for England, they topped with 9 wins, 1 draw, no defeats. So 28 points for them against 10 other country nations. Ecuador was their closest challengers with 22 points, a good 6-point margin ahead of them. Egypt in 3rd, 21 points, and then a bit of a drop after that, Ecuador, Guinea, Ethiopia, and so on. For France, they just narrowly got past Finland on the goal difference, 9 games for them. And other challengers, French, Guinea, and Fiji, but mainly it was between them and Finland to progress. For Oman, they only had 2 other opponents there, Aquitanian and Orkney, so there was no real competition for them. They haven't really done much, so they just got quite lucky that they begin with O and get to the second stage there, and unfortunately for them, they got drawn in the worst possible group, it seems. For Spain, they had the biggest challenge of them all, because there was 3 original rounds for the S category, because there was so many. I think there was like 40, it must have been 42 or so nations, and yeah, they got divided up 14 each, and then Spain managed to qualify and make the final group there and managed to win the final group. So they had a big journey, lots of matches under their belt, but that sort of all gets scraped away, because at least the website has no knowledge of them playing a lot more matches, because if they did, then it would be very tricky for them to go on and perform here. So they just managed to squeak through themselves against Sweden, both managing to finish with 37 points with 12 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats in the final group there, but goal difference managed to help them significantly, 16 goal difference higher up. 59 scored, 7 against, plus 52 compared to Sweden's 50 scored and 14 against. 5 points back was the likes of Senegal, and also had like Switzerland, Slovakia, Scotland, and so on. And for Wales, they were in a small group there of 6 nations. They managed to comfortably win all 5 of their matches, as all of these other nations aren't even really in the top 200 in the world there, so they had an extremely easy group, considering scoring 112 goals in just 5 games, conceding just 210 on the goal difference. Second spot was Western Armenia, and it was actually a pretty close match between them and Wales, surprisingly. So imagine if they managed to go through instead, there would have been shockwaves in the Alphabetical World Cup world, let's say. So 12 points for them, and as well as for Tunia, Western Sahara, Western Isles, and Western Papua was the opponents they played against. So big step up from that. So let's see how they get on. So feel free to get your predictions in on who you think is going to win this group here, because it's very difficult to predict. I can easily see 4 of these nations going on and winning: England, France, Spain, and Wales. Possibly might well Wales that, since they're a bit of an outsider and it's against 3 other powerhouses. Could be a bit of an ask, but they only have to play each other once, and 4 games in total. And so it'll be interesting to see how Oman gets on. They could be quite crucial, because they might just deny a particular nation of qualifying for the final as their main ask, and possibly, who knows, they might cause an upset and get into like 4th place, but any higher than that I don't see happening. So for me, it's hard to call. I don't really want to see England go through, because Belgium have already gone through already, and there has been a Belgium versus England final match in one of my other Football Simulator World Cup videos there, so it'd be nice to see someone else going on and competing against the likes of Germany, Haiti, Belgium and Denmark in that final stage group there. So with that all underway, let's get to it and find out who ends up winning it. Very exciting stuff. What's going to happen? Who knows? Great tournaments, neutral stadium and all that, and kick off and get to this and zoom in. So starting off with England against France. England 2-0 winners. Oh, oops. Let's scroll down. Don't look. Okay, so Spain 4-0 against Oman. England 2-0 against Wales. France 3-1 against Oman. Spain 2-1 against Wales. All the big powerhouse nations winning their games. England 5-1 against Oman. France 2-0 against Spain. Wales 2-1 against Oman. Spain 2-0 against England. And France 3-1 against Wales. So that all said and done, wow. Talk about the power of 3 here, as 3 wins each and 1 defeat each, all finishing with 9 points. So it doesn't get much closer than this. And yeah, unfortunately it is England who ends up going top. 9 goals scored, 3 against, so +6 compared to +5 here for Spain. 8 scored, 3 against. And for France, 8 scored, 4 against, so +4. So +4, +5, +6. So very, very thin margins. So Wales, they picked up 1 victory, 3 defeats, 3 points, and Oman finishing in 5th spot there, lost all 4 games, 3 goals scored and 14 conceded. So well done to England. We might just see another England versus Belgium repeat. We just have to wait and see. But they go on to the final group against Germany, Haiti, Belgium and Denmark to see who is going to become the alphabetical World Cup champions. So hopefully you enjoyed this video series so far. If you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, you probably should also check out the other videos before you got here, but also consider subscribing. Cheers.